Good morning, good morning. This is your girl, Coteria, and welcome back to my channel, My Opinions Vlog. Congratulations to Megan Thee Stallion. Her song, His, has finally debuted at #1 on the Billboard charts. Now, I believe this happened shortly after the Grammys. We're going to say probably around midnight, 12 a.m., February the 6th. So we're going to say either February the 5th, that night during the Grammys show ceremony, or we can say early in the AM, February the 6th, Monday morning. But like I said, the hotties, Megan Thee Stallion, his song has finally made it to #1. Now, she have been online, entertaining her fan base, which she called the hotties. And she had stated last week that, if her song make it to #1, if it debuted at #1, she was going to, pull out a bottle of Hennessy and drink it from a straw, which was said by Nicki Minaj when she was going on her manic rant. She said she was an alcoholic and she drinks Hennessy straight out the bottle from a straw. So remember, what you do, you take apples and turn it into orange juice, and that's what Megan Thee Stallion did. Okay, you said I'm a alcoholic, which Megan Thee Stallion, well, she used to be. I'm not sure if she still is. She do like to drink and turn up, and I think Hennessy is one of her favorite drinks. You know what I'm saying, to celebrate and drink too. So she was like, okay, so you throwing little apples, and I'm gonna go ahead and make the apple juice, and I'm gonna go ahead and stand on it, and that's what she did. So she went on live, and at the end, she decided to pull out a small Hennessy bottle, which that was a good tactic, and, get a straw and drink and celebrate, her debut #1 song, His, which meaning all over the United States, probably all over the globe, because, people in different countries listen to American music, has been supporting this. Well, people are calling it a diss track, but I'm going to say just a song, a regular, hip hop song, which have now turned into a diss track. Thanks to Nicki Minaj, because she responded to that one little word, Megan's Law. She helped His get to #1 because her reaction to Megan's Law, which wasn't really directed at her, it was directed at her husband. People use Nicki Minaj's husband as a major stepping stone when it come down to coming after her and dissing her, and it's a tactic that has been working in recent years. Every time someone, says Kenneth Zupetti without saying his actual legal government name, she is going to jump very high on behalf of her husband, which that's what a spouse and that's what a wife is supposed to do. When somebody's talking about your significant other, you're supposed to react and respond, and you're supposed to take shots back. But in this situation, it should have never happened. Because without her knowing, and because the type of hothead woman that she is, remember, she's a fire sign. Into astrology, I'm a fire sign. When you piss us off and you take little jabs at our family and someone we love, we're going to turn up and we're going to counter react. And that's what Nicki Minaj did. Typical, behavior of a fire sign. When you poke the bear, we're going to poke back. But it was not a smart move on her behalf, because while she was, trying to, come up, when she was trying to make a diss track within, I'll say, the 48 hours of her going, off of Megan Thee Stallion, her jumping on Station Head, Queen Radio, and other, IG platforms, and just, resurfacing old garbage trash that we already knew about Megan Thee Stallion. She was trying to make an attempt to try to diminish her and demolish her online. It was not working. And the more she kept on reacting to Megan's Law, and a lot of, her fan base, barbers put a battery in Nicki Minaj back that had her really, amped up to keep going back at Megan Thee Stallion. Megan Thee Stallion was sitting up there quietly and watching her spiraling out of control, and helping her song His make it to #1. Thanks to Nicki Minaj. So I have to definitely thank Nicki Minaj for help pushing this song to #1. Now, a lot of people could, feel indifferent and they feel like Megan Thee Stallion did this on her own, but in my opinion, it's not going to change. I mean, Nicki Minaj is a major reason as to why His is #1. Okay? I'm not going to sit down. We're not going to lie. We're not going to lie. She did. Whether you like Nicki Minaj or not, she did help this song to go to #1. because her reaction to it. Now, mind you, Megan Thee Stallion took this at a few people. We know one of them was Drake. We know it was Tory Lanez in Party. These young men did not respond at all. Now, Party been responding to Megan Thee Stallion in the recent months, but surprisingly, he did not respond. Only person who responded, hit dog that hollered, was Nicki Minaj. And like I said, I heard some other little lines that she might have took, dancing to R. Kelly, make him viral. They said that was about her and some other little stuff. But the Megan's Law is what really blew up this song because that's what people focus on, the Megan's Law. Like I said, shout out and congratulations to the Megan Thee Stallion, okay, for her #1 debut song, Hiss. Now, they're contrary to popular beliefs. A lot of the Barbs, people that don't like the hotties, and Megan Thee Stallion feel that Rock Nation is the reason why her song made it to #1. They felt like, by her allegedly, that they paid certain folks to stream the song. I'm hearing people are being paid, and there's bots and stuff, according to Nicki Minaj. Could be true, and it could not be true. But all I know is that you helped this girl get to #1 because of your mouth and you're a hothead. You don't think before you act. I know this because I am a fire sign. I'm an Aries. And like I said, when you piss me off, all I see is red. And I don't think clearly. Now that I'm older, it's different. But when I was younger, baby, it didn't take nothing to make me tick. And Nicki Minaj is 41 going on 42. You would have thought that she have learned. Nicki Minaj, like she said, she's up here. She's on her throne. She considered the rest of these young women mediocre and her peasants, her sons, according to Nicki Minaj. But they beat her at her own game by throwing subliminals. Is that something that she came out on the scene doing? Where she said, she's not a battle rap. She don't really do disses. She throws subliminals. She's the first artist to ever really say this when she came on the scene, when she was going back and forth with Remy Ma. But these young girls have learned her strategy, and they use her own strategy against her. And like I said, it is working in their favor. And also, Megan Thee Stallion decided to give a big shout out to her mother, also for helping her just with her music career and helping this song in the spiritual realm to make it to #1. So she shout out her mother because remember, Nicki Minaj manifested her mother, from the grave and told her she needs to, dig her mother up and apologize. And so Nicki Minaj manifested Megan Thee Stallion mother in the spiritual realm to come from her grave. And that's what she did. And this is why her daughter song Hiss is at #1. So she thanked her mother. And that's what you're supposed to do. Stand on business. If a person say this about my mother, okay, we're going to manifest it. Nicki Minaj helped manifest Hiss to be at #1. And finally, she have gotten off of social media because somebody in her team, somebody in Young Money, her PR, whoever, music executive, Lil Wayne told her, get the fuck off a line. You are literally helping this girl's song trend without knowing it. Somebody finally snatched her phone, her computer, her devices, and say, put a rest to it. Because now Nicki Minaj had took a double, quadruple L in the recent weeks. You talk about somebody's dead mother. You help her song not get to #1. You also say you're going to buy her catalogs, which now she owns all her catalogs and her publishing. You also said that, she, is still under a record label. She just signed let me read this. She signed a distribution deal with Warner Bros. Music. With Warner Music. So, like I said, everything that you said that she didn't do or you were going to do when the odds were stacked against her, she did it. So, everything that you said negative, she came out and said, I'm still winning. You said, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. And guess what? I own all my publishing. So, when you were just making up shit and throwing it out there, she proved you wrong. You said that she drinks Hennessy out of the bottle. The bitch made the #1 and she drank Hennessy out of the bottle. So, like I said, they should have been took this young mama phone after she been online for 48 hours. And it didn't happen. And even though she said that wasn't a diss track, Bigfoot, it is considered a diss track. Because the whole song is a whole diss towards Megan. It's just that she know that the shit was put together and the shit was not going to really, do numbers. But I'm hearing that it's at number 23 or 22 on the Billboard charts, which is still pretty good. Without her putting minimum effort into this song. But like I said, she beat Nicki Minaj in her own game. And like I said, I gotta give, a big congratulations and a round of applause to Megan Thee Stallion for moving like chess instead of checkers and beating Nicki Minaj at her own game. And like I said, all these other people consider them mediocre female rap artists. Now they see, okay, you know what? We know how to get numbers. We could stream off of Nicki Minaj. All we got to do is mention her husband is a pedophile, which never is going to go away. And like I said, when you married the man and you got in a relationship, also conceived a child with that man, you already knew what you signed up for. Nicki Minaj, you already knew he is going to be a direct target. Every time they want to irritate you or piss you off, all they got to do is speak on your husband and you are going to counter react. You are going to blow up, and this is something that they know. So these younger girls that's coming up in the game, they may not like you because you don't get them a feature. They're going to always throw disses at your husband. You got to be smart enough not to react to it and to ignore it. You already know that he's a registered sex offender. You already know he's been convicted of being a pedophile. You know this. You know he can't go to Chuck E. Cheese or take your son to any private charter school. You know this. So it's going to always be a dig towards you and your husband when you get into some type of beef. And not only that, like I said, you've been in this game for almost 50 years. I would think you know the play. I would think you know the play. You're still 41 years old, want to bicker and go back and forth with these younger women. Little Kim, again, Queen B, Little Kim did not do this. When her and Nicki Minaj had their little falling out and stuff, she was mature about it. She let Nicki Minaj have it, and baby just went on by her way. Everybody was calling Lil Kim every name in the goddamn book. Oh, she's gotten old. She's old and through. She mad because Nicki Minaj is young and hot out. And now that Nicki Minaj don't age gracefully, Nicki Minaj is still, she's still fine. She still look good. And now these younger girls giving the same type of smoke she gave Lil Kim way back when, and she don't like it. And now people feel like it's a problem. No, it's not a problem. It's called karma, and it's called a trickle-down effect. What you did to somebody else, you shall receive that karma. And people don't like it because she's receiving it now. When Lala called her a old auntie or grandma, and she didn't like that, it's the same thing she did to Lil Kim. So it's a trickle-down effect. When you start something and you don't correct it and you don't apologize about it, what you think when you get older, what's going to happen to you? And you constantly going back and forth with these mediocre, female rappers. And I don't call them mediocre. This is something I'm hearing on social media. They're calling them mediocre. But with these upcoming young artists, when you steady going back and forth, doing little disses and talking about them, you feeding into the bullcrap. And you also helping them with their numbers. I really hope Nicki Minaj have learned from this situation with Megan Thee Stallion. Stop opening your mouth and responding. I got to bring up Cardi B because she's learning too. Cardi B, I got to congratulate her for being quiet for almost over a month. Since New Year, she said she's going to get off social media and not keep on responding to trolls and keep going back and forth with Nicki Minaj for the fucking past 5 or fucking 6 years. She's been going back and forth. I'm so exhausted over her and Nicki Minaj beef. And again, Nicki Minaj is almost 10 years older than Cardi B. And she been beefing with this girl for fucking years. And remember, beef is when both parties participate and throw digs and shots at each other. The reason why I say her and Megan Thee Stallion really ain't got much of a beef because there haven't been no argument going back and forth with each other. It's just that they diss each other here in this song and diss each other here. Cardi B and Nicki Minaj had a full-blown beef. They've had words at each other. A shoe got thrown at Nicki Minaj's head. They have bickered on the line with each other. Megan and Nicki Minaj has not done that thus far. It's just been certain things that has been said in music, and that's it. So that's why I say Megan and Nicki Minaj ain't really fully beefing. But people say they beefing. Hey, it is what it is. But shout out to Megan Thee Stallion, the hotties, on her #1 debut song right now in the world. It's still at #1. His fair game. I know. Hey, she played the goddamn board well. She did, and I'm so glad Nicki Minaj is quiet and she focusing on her tour. But that's all I gotta say about this, y'all.